Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, welcome back to this episode. It is so good to spend some time with you. Today, my name is Dallin Hawes. Like always, it's always me, right? And today we're gonna be talking about how when you earn maybe some extra money, maybe you take a part-time job, full-time job, you start a business in retirement, where some of your retirement income may actually be reduced, be decreased because of that extra income that you have. And we're gonna talk about what you can do to potentially avoid this, and at the very least, you'll understand how this works so you can avoid any pitfalls in retirement along the way. So we actually have a viewer just like you who submitted a question right on these lines. So we're gonna read the question and then jump into it. So they say, I am a federal law enforcement officer and I plan to retire at age 55 with 32 years of federal service. If I collect supplemental Social Security so let me stop right there. So when they say supplemental Social Security, another name for that is the FERS supplement or the Social Security supplement or annuity supplement, right? There's tons of different names that are used for it, but it's all the same thing. Okay, now let's continue. They say, if I collect the FERS supplement, how much can I work at another job before it impacts my Social Security supplement? I've been told several different things. So again, yeah, this topic does get hairy, does get confusing, but I'm gonna try to simplify it for you and give you all the most relevant things. So let me clarify a couple things. First, there's only two types of retirement income that can be reduced because you're earning other income. That is first, your FERS supplement, right? And as many of you know, if you retire before 62 with an immediate retirement, you're eligible for the FERS supplement. It's a bonus payment every month that is on top of your pension, right? Your pension will never be reduced because of you working another job, okay? That's that. Now, if you take Social Security, so I'm not talking about the supplement anymore, the real Social Security that you can start as early as 62, if you start that early before your full retirement age for Social Security purposes and you're working another job, then that can be reduced as well. And we're gonna talk about today how the rules for that work. So again, your FERS supplement and your Social Security can both be reduced if you earn income at the same time. Okay, let's jump in. So this is how it works. Basically, every year there's an earnings limit. That limit changes every year, but there's an earnings limit. When you start making over that, your income can be reduced. So for 2022, this earnings limit is $19,560. So just about $20,000, okay? So this is how the rule works. For every $2 that you make over this earnings limit, your FERS supplement is gonna be reduced by $1, right? So if you make $10 more than $19,560, right, then your FERS supplement will be reduced $5. So again, every $2 you go over, your FERS supplement will be reduced by $1, okay? So as an example, let's say your FERS supplement is $20,000. Well, how much would you have to earn to reduce that down to zero, down to nulla, okay? You would have to earn $40,000 above the annual limit to reduce it down to zero. So if you make about 60 grand, then your FERS supplement goes down to absolutely zero. That's how it works, right? But again, the same thing will apply. Let's say you're 62, you start Social Security, but you're also working a part-time job. You make 60 grand on the side. Well, your Social Security is gonna be reduced exactly the same way. The reduction to your Social Security does change a little bit in the year that you hit your full retirement age for Social Security purposes. It does change to some degree, the limits change and things like that. But for the most part, if you are planning to work, you probably don't want to take your Social Security. You want to delay it until you're done working. Or once you hit your full retirement age for Social Security, then this reduction does not come into play at all, right? So those are the things to remember. Now, another nuance, and I know there's tons of nuances here, just hang with me. So if you are a special provisions employee, right? You know who you are, your air traffic controllers, your firefighters, your law enforcement, you folks. The rules are a little different. For you, you know that you can actually retire earlier than traditional FERS, generally speaking, right? You can retire as early as 50 or even earlier if you have the right years of service, right? For you, this reduction to your FERS supplement does not come into play until your minimum retirement age, which for you is generally around 57, right in there. It's 56, 57, depending on your birthday. So if you retire, let's say like this gentleman that asked the question at 55, and let's say his MRA, his minimum retirement age, is 57, this reduction does not come into play for 2 years until 57. So he can make as much money as he wants in those 2 years, but when he hits 57, that is when the reduction can come into play if he is working a job. Now, let me make one thing very, very, very clear. The only type of income that counts towards this annual limit is when you go out and work a job, a physical job, right? Your retirement income does not count. Your pension doesn't count. Your TSP doesn't count. Your FERS supplement doesn't count. None of that income counts towards this annual limit, right? It only counts if you go out and start a business, you get a job, that sort of income. It's called earned income for the IRS purposes. So that is so crucial to understand. So again, two different things. First, if you're planning to work while you're getting the FERS supplement or starting Social Security early, then, I mean, you could potentially just try to keep it under $20,000, right? That's one option. And if you earn more and these income sources are reduced, is it the end of the world? No, because you are, of course, overall going to have more income. You just have to understand what the ramifications of what you're doing and understand that the next year when your FERS supplement's lower, you know why. Because every year, this is how it works. The FERS supplement, the OPM, is going to send you a form every year saying, hey, report your income that you earned from a job or a business the previous year. And then starting in July, they will make the reductions that need to be made for the following year, right? And so if your income then drops later, your FERS supplement can be reinstated as long as you're under 62. So I know there was tons of details here, tons of nuances, tons of details, but just keep in mind, if this is something that you think is going to affect you, definitely learn more, read more. I've written a number of articles on the FERS supplement, on Social Security, so definitely do your research, know what you're getting into so you know exactly how this works. So I hope that was helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day, and we will see you next time.